Starting the computer. Fuck it. I doubt that's gonna help, but I don't know what else to do. Alright, I guess I actually had to restart the computer to get that to work, but it's coming back on now.
Hi there.
Fuck, man. YouTube is fucking up so goddamn much, dude. Like, I legit just had a video up and was watching it and was gonna bring it up on stream. It's not even in my history. It's not even in my fucking history. Like, what the fuck is going on with YouTube, man? Either channel's history. I just went to both channels' history to see if it was there. Not there.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know, as you feel,
And
it is a terrible day in the markets.
I fucking liked the man, dude. Something. Okay, well, why is there a like there? But when I go to my history, it's not there. Why is that video not in my history, but I was able to fucking like it? How is that possible, YouTube? How is it not in my history and I was able to fucking like it?
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know, as you feel, it is a terrible day in the markets. Everyone right now is bleeding money. We're losing money in real time, so we're
by the way, I got a response. I got a response on the thing. I wanted to know what I got what I got the strike for. Right, you remember? And not only did they uphold it, which means that it's staying a strike. They let me know this morning. Oh no! Like yesterday they said we were upholding it. Well, today they said. Well, last night I said, okay, thanks. I still don't know what I did to violate TOS. May you explain further? And then he responds, while we can't share any specifics, as that could also benefit those not playing by the rules. What in the fuck does that mean? While we can't share any specifics of why you just got a terms of service violation, because that could benefit those not playing by the rules. Imagine them telling you that. Like, what? What do you mean? We can't tell you what you did wrong because that could benefit other people that are trying to do wrong. Does that make sense? It's like a referee and a gang going, foul. Okay, for what? I can't tell you. It could benefit them. Well, this is benefiting them. So, I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, what they're doing is benefiting the people that don't play their rules, because the people that don't play the rules are the ones that fucking reported me. It says, we recommend checking YouTube's policies on spam, deceptive practices, and scams for more information. Thanks for understanding. The same shit they told me to check before that I told them wasn't telling me what I did wrong. So I said, I've looked at that page and still don't know what I did wrong. How am I supposed to know what I did wrong if you don't tell me? I did nothing to deceive anyone. Israel and Gaza were bombing each other and I was covering it. What did I do against the US? This is ridiculous. So I'm already pissed off about that. And then I fucking get on and I had already restarted the computer once because of some shit was happening. And now it's like, no, now the chatbot's not going to work. You got to restart it again and then redo everything again. So, like, today's fucking started kind of, and it's trash day. Luckily, I didn't lose all my money in Bitcoin like a lot of people did, but here's this.
Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. As you know,
I'm not looking
as
at
you
chat,
feel,
dude.
it is a terrible
cool.
day in the
I'm
markets.
cool for now
Everyone right now is bleeding money. We're losing money in real time, so we're through this together, just so all of you know, because it can feel alone. It can feel lonely, but you're not alone. Everyone right now is absolutely wrecked. We're bringing CTO Larson to comment on this. And by the way, guys, you should go as soon as possible and subscribe to his channel called CTO Larson Invest. And as you can see, I personally watch all the videos, so you can see my watch time here. Let's talk about the markets, what's happening, and how do we take it from here?
Yeah, thank you, Ivan. Yeah, I think it's a tough day for everyone. Doesn't matter if you're a big investor, small investor.
I'm not going to be talking for 30 minutes probably. So if you expect me to respond to your comment, I'm not.
Today, everyone is down today. And I've gotten a lot of messages. People have become liquidated. They've lost all their money and so on. So if you're still in the game after today,
I don't even have chat up.
You're still
I don't know what
well,
the fuck. I don't even know you guys are talking. I have no idea that you guys are even talking right now. I have it nowhere.
And how to
nowhere,
nowhere,
no chat.
See how to take this forward. And yeah, thanks Ivan for the introduction. I do try to share my insights on YouTube as well. So
let's go into the charts.
Let's go straight into the charts.
People can see the charts perfectly.
Exactly, you can see it here. So I think what is important to understand is that when it is the top, there is no methodology in the world that can tell that it is the top when it is the top, unless you're the person who's driving the whole market. Then there's no way to know that that is the top. So that is not the objective. The objective is not to buy the exact bottom and sell the exact top, because that is just luck if you do that. The objective is to try to get in a little bit after the bottom and try to get out as soon as after the top as possible. That is the objective. That is what we are trying to do. And then there are different tools and insights to do that. And many of these are quite timeless. Like technical charting is 100 years old. I'm going to go into another model that's also 100 years old and it still works today. And it helps us still understand the Bitcoin markets now in May 2021. That's quite amazing. So if we start with zooming out a little bit, where are we? What has happened? Where do we go from here?
I don't give a fuck about your crypto, fucking asshole. Shut the fuck up.
I've developed called Larson Line, which just tries to give
I shouldn't have read your stupid comment.
A measure of trend consistency. Is there a consistent trend? And if so, is it up or down? And the recent thing that's happened was that it was
Hashish,
kind of
how about
neutral
this?
around
I'm fucking tired of you regardless.
And then
Guess
after
what? Guess what is
$10,000,
about to happen? I bet you
went
know.
yellow,
I bet
it
you
went
know because
gold,
you're a fucking
meaning
idiot.
that there is
It doesn't take a fucking genius to figure it out.
in the trend. And then it stayed gold. We had a consistency in the trend all the way from 10,000 all the way here, all the way into this candle.
I don't like you. How about you
inside
fucking get that through your dumb
here
thick ass skull?
54,000.
I don't give a fuck
Then
how
it
long you've been watching.
Gray.
And just to point out the exact date, it was on May 12th.
Yeah,
so this
exactly.
was
Inside this day,
1
May
week
12th,
ago, exactly.
it flipped gray. So at that point, with this particular measure, we can say that it's no longer a consistent uptrend, and that is a change. It's the first change since $10,000. So okay, that is something to take note of. That there is a change now. There is a change. Something has changed. And
I'm wearing the same shirt for the rest of the week. If you don't like it, go fucking sniff your mom's asshole.
Immediately, the day after, on the 13th of May, something else happened. Because you can see here is
I don't care what the fuck you do.
Here is a head. Here is a right shoulder.
You shouldn't give a fuck what clothing I'm wearing. If you do, fuck off. You're weird.
So, I mean, it's a little bit if and but still, it is a head and shoulder. And it broke down first once on 13th of May. It came back, but then it broke down again on the 15th of May here at 48,000, 47,000. So that's the second signal. Oh, that's not good because that's a top pattern. So we're getting top patterns
care what the fuck you're wearing
now. That's not good. That's not good.
You're about to find out why this is happening.
Then it continued. It didn't bounce back like it did here on the 13th of May. In fact, it continued down, and then we had the big drop here today to a shocking.
It's not going up.
53% or almost 54% drop from the high in mid-April until the bottom of
you want to find out why this is happening?
And to put this into perspective,
how are you a tube-tard? Is that a new account?
To put this into perspective, I don't think we've seen anything like that since 2013, maybe, where it still was a bull market.
Yeah,
where we
I have to wash
like
the underwear, dude.
Percent, and still it was
I have
a bull.
to wash
because
it by
during
hand.
2017
it's a bitch.
bull market, we did have 40% drops.
Yes.
But 53, I don't think we have. So do you put any significance to that?
Plus, I have a shit
doesn't matter
ton,
that
dude.
it's 53
like,
and not
no
40, because if it was 45 or 43%, maybe we could still say that it's normal. But 53, we haven't seen it last time.
I agree. It's a key point you're bringing up here. We had a lot of corrections here. I have the measurement in another chart, but there were 6 of them during 2017. And I think it was 9 of them during this whole round.
Oh yeah. Why
but
are
none of them were 50%? They were 30%, 40%. And as you see here also, if we look at them, at almost all of them, the trend was still consistent up. Except maybe
this is important. This is important too. This is his own special indicator that he made. This you might have missed it because I was going off. Anybody who missed it, this indicator right here, this yellow indicator, shows like momentum, like it's going that way and it's continuing to go that way. It's on I forget the word he used for it, but it's like God dang it, I forgot the word he used for it. It's where it's God dang it, now fucking dude, I hate you trolls, dude. You always throw me off, man. I'm just gonna start fucking ignoring everybody for the first 30 minutes of every stream, dude. I'm pretty sure my day would go much better if I just started doing that. Just totally turned it off. Like, it was just like, bump. I just did my stream. But I can't do that because I gotta make sure shit's not getting spammed. I gotta make sure people are being like good little boys and girls because there actually are children that come through here acting a fool. I'm about to get fucking mods, dude, because I can't do this like this constantly. It's fucking retarded. I can't deal with trying to provide content while at the same time be like, you better stop that. No. You know what I mean? You fucking idiots. Like, I'm not gonna go for motherfuckers talking about how many days I've worn my clothing. Shut the fuck up. Go watch Mr. Rogers.
Mile at a time.
You know what I'm saying? Go watch something else. He wore the same thing every day, didn't he? Somebody else. Somebody watched. Fuck you, dude. Barney wears the same thing every day. I'm a fucking dinosaur. I'm as good as him. What's up, life? What the fuck? Can't you see I'm ranting? Motherfucker. You don't just go up to a motherfucker that's going off and go, "What's up? What's up, man?" Because that's the equivalent of what you did, you dumb shit. Your fucking sound command's loud as hell. You know what I'm saying? So when you interrupt what I'm fucking saying, it pisses me off. It's not a good look. It doesn't go well on you. I don't know if you're doing that because you're like, oh, look, there's all kinds of attention going on here. I'm going to do some stupid shit. Maybe I'll get some subs. But I doubt very seriously they're going to go sub to this motherfucker so he gets off my fucking dick already. Please, somebody, go sub to this asshole because he's fucking hurting. Jesus. I didn't know what word he used for how he described that charting indicator. Talks about right in the beginning.
There, see how to take this forward. And yeah, thanks, Ivan, for the...
Let's go into the charts.
Let's go straight into the charts.
People can see the charts perfectly.
Exactly, you can see it here. So I think what is important to understand is that when it is the top, there is no methodology in the world that can tell that it is the top. Not objective, because try to get in a little bit as possible. That is a different tool is 100 years old today, now in May 2020, out a little bit. Well, tools that I use is this indicator that I've developed called Larson line, which just tries to give a measure of trend consistency.
Consistency. That's the word I was looking for. Consistency, dude. Trend consistency. I was looking for a C word and I couldn't fucking place it. So this shows consistency. Right? And that just fucking changed, dude. Alright, so this dude knows his shit. We were at the 6th. Do you want to hear his entire spiel? Or do you want me to go back to where we were at? Because we were at around here. But nobody probably knows what the fuck he's talking about right now if I just started where at 6 minutes. Because he actually, the main thing that you need to hear is when he starts talking about this stuff. Actually. This stuff. Because this is kind of cool. This is like, okay, yeah, we flipped there. You can see it flipped up there, right? What I'm talking about is here. Boom. It changed colors. That was recently. And that is a big deal. It's the first time it's happened in a long time. And it's not going to just probably go blip right up above it again when it flips like that. Okay, so but he gets into this old dude. This old dude created this chart like over 100 years ago. This thing, they talk about it a little bit. Let's see if they go to it. I can just hear it right here. Actually, I could just probably start it right there. We're pretty good.
Distribution. I have driving the market knows for sure, but there is another model that I think we should look at. And that is this Wyckoff distribution.
Key.
I have not used it so much before, but I think,
dude, then this is all about market manipulation. The dude created this because I've been telling you motherfuckers that this is the exchanges fucking liquidating people because they knew that they could do it and shit. And this dude created this before the markets had regulations. This was an unregulated market fucking thing that people fucking did. Like when they could steal from the fucking rich and give back to their pockets. Okay, he's about to explain it.
I think maybe now is the time to begin using it more. And again, this is a guy that's been around for, he lived almost 100 years ago, and he was a little angry, he was a little upset that there were big players in the market that were driving the price and then trying to milk the smaller players in the market. And he kind of formulated this model to educate people that, guys, this is what's going on. You should be aware of this game that's being played at you. by the bigger players, the whales of the time. And now we're here in 2021 in May, and the same thing plays out exactly to the point. There was another great video of a guy who actually did this in April. Then he said he didn't follow it himself.
I saw it.
He didn't barely trust it himself, but turned out it played out exactly. And I've drawn that here. I did this today to kind of try to show how exactly this playbook has played out. And I think that's something we need to recognize. We have to see that maybe that's too much of a coincidence. I think it's too much of a coincidence that this playbook of how to milk people of their money has been played out candle to a model that was produced 100 years ago. And let's look through it quickly, because if that is the conclusion, okay, then maybe we have some guesses of what will happen next from here, if that's the playbook. So the playbook, to begin with, if we take it on a big scale, is that you accumulate somewhere. That's another pattern. Then you accumulate as cheap as you can, as much as possible. Then you pump the price up. You buy in a different way. You don't try to buy carefully anymore to not move the price. You do the opposite. You try to buy it heavy to drive up the price as high and as fast as possible. And then when you gotten the price up, you start offloading your Bitcoin bags. And that's then called the distribution. And then there are these tricks that you can do to try to offload in a way that there is as many people as possible buying your
That's when they're getting the media involved.
Before you then start driving it in the other direction.
Saturday Night Live.
So
that was one of the like all those.
Is it
and just to interrupt, Anders, so basically this is all about how a big whale, somebody with money, can make profits on the way up by creating
Elon
a kind of
probably
mania,
paid to be
and
on Saturday
then
Night Live.
selling as much as possible, but still giving people the hope that it will continue.
Yeah.
Before then shorting it on the way down.
Probably. Yes.
When he knows that all of this
likely.
pumped up price was created by him or themselves. So they can both pump it up, make money on the way up, unload, and then also short the hell out of it at the end. So this is the thing we're looking at.
Exactly. And then do it all over again. So it's this guy, Wyckoff, 1873-1934, that we're looking at. And we're looking at his drawings of distribution. So if you just look at this picture a little bit, how it looks, and then we switch back to the Bitcoin chart, you see that I've drawn this exactly.
Unreal
so
how much it is like that dude's drawing.
And I think you can kind of recognize, can remember.
I haven't
what
on text
happened
been
on
my
dates.
crypto dude since 2017.
First we have this huge run
man.
up, right? From
He's the
10,000, we
dude in the
break
corner.
20,000, we go towards all-time high. And then there comes like a first little mini event, which is not significant. It's called PSY, preliminary supply. That's where the large investors begin to sell a little bit just to test the water. That's kind of a test, but not much happens. And then there's a buying climax. That is here then in 21st of February. So it's not so long ago when we almost hit 60,000.
They're going to
we were up at
discuss ETH.
58,500. I remember how it felt. It's like a buying climax. It's like, oh, I'm missing it. I should have bought more. Maybe I should buy some more now. Even if you are in this market, you feel the stress, you feel the FOMO that why didn't I go all in? I still have some money on the side. Why didn't I buy that also? That's the buying climax. And then there's the next step. It's called AR, automatic reaction. Then the buying is diminished. And supply is taking over, meaning that they are selling. The whales are selling here. And there is...
So basically, the whales, you mean that, or according to this model, the whales create this pump with PSY stage first when they offload a bit, but also buying climax, that they help this pump in order to create the excitement.
Exactly. So they've helped it along all this way from when it started, basically at maybe 10K, somewhere around here where it really started. Even before that, maybe 8, 9, 10K.
Right.
And then now and then we're up in the distribution pattern. So this whole pattern is the distribution. It is like to offload, to sell. And then there is this trick to do it in the way that there are actually buyers, because if they would start to sell all at once, price would go down, right? And people would panic and there would be no buyers. They're trying to get people to buy here. They're trying to get people to buy as high price as possible. So here's the buying climax. There's the automatic reaction. Then there's a secondary test. They test the waters again. Test the water, see how much supply is it, how much can they sell. And if you look on the right side here, you can see selling volumes. You can see that here happens a lot of selling volume at this point. And then comes the next surprising thing, because here we have been euphoric, and then something surprising happens. Because here they put in a support, and then comes a drop below that support. SOW stands for a sign of weakness. So suddenly there's weakness in the market. The previous support didn't hold, and everyone started thinking, what's going on here? Maybe this was the top. Maybe we should sell here. And people start selling and shorting and covering their positions again. Here it's sign of weakness. And then what do? They drive it up again, liquidating all those people and getting everyone thinking, oh no, I was wrong. And then actually it goes up here.
So just to add a comment, I mean, this all happens for people to doubt themselves, to look away from their strategy, to basically move away from their plan, because maybe you have a nice, perfect strategy to take profits at the top, or maybe you see a dump and your strategy is, okay, when this level is reached, then I take profits, but then they also manipulate that, so they pump up again, so you start doubting yourself, you start doubting your strategies, you go by emotion and you buy their bags, basically.
Exactly. And look how short it is between here. Here was 21st of February. We all felt that we should have bought more. Why did I keep, the last money? I should have put all in because it's going to 200K now immediately. I'm an idiot. And then just look here, 28th February, just 1 week later, there is sign of weakness in the market. We start panicking. We're thinking, oh, I have bought too much now. It's going down. I should maybe short it instead. I should sell now. And then what happens? Just a few days later, 2 weeks later, what is it? 1st of March to 13th of March, 2 weeks later, we're putting in a new high. So they're kind of shaking you back and forth. You're doubting your strategy, as you say. You're thinking, I've done the wrong thing, and you're going in the other direction. And then they work to liquidate you, to take your money basically here and offload their own coins. So here's an up thrust. This stands for up thrust. Then there is a little retracement, and then there is a second up thrust after this distribution period, and we're putting in another high above the previous resistance. Because look here, you put in resistance points, so you start feeling that there's a resistance zone. And then we break through the resistance. That's a hallelujah moment. We've broken through the resistance. And a lot of people, including myself at this point, when we were up at 65,000, we feel that we have broken through the resistance. Now it's going straight to 100K, 200K. We're all gonna, cash home this. That's the game. And then what happens? Immediately after, they drive the price in the other direction, liquidating all the ones on margin, and again being able to offload large quantities of coins because people thinking that it's going to go up, and then there is room to sell.
You checked your comment.
We come down here, and then this point here is called last point of supply. That's kind of the last offloading of their coins, and here they accept that price will tank as a result of their selling, and they kind of have last
more
point
than
of
I hate
supply,
them interrupting
last
me.
point of
I don't know, it's
supply.
probably the same.
And then there is like one last attempt here. You show a sign of weakness breaking below support. So here, and when was this? Let's zoom in here now, because now it's just a few days. It's just a few days here, guys. So on the 17th of May, that is 2 days ago. 2 days ago, we broke below support, causing panic. It's just 2 days ago, so we all remember. We panicked here, but then the next day, yesterday, it was up.
My goal is to get rid of all the idiots.
We felt, phew, oh, good,
I cannot post a link.
Up again,
Fuck
and
off.
then you just drive it hard.
Go find it.
Hard down. So exactly as you said in the beginning, Ivan, that towards the end of this period, not only can they offload coins that they have bought at maybe 8K or 10K, they can also start loading up on shorts. So you can start loading up on shorts here because you know that, okay, we're almost done with our selling. It's the last point of supply. We have our last bags left, and we're going to throw them out on the market. And then they load up on shorts, throw out the last on the market, and down we go. And that's where we are now.
And I think many people are naively thinking that because it's crypto, it's free from the banks, it's free from manipulation, from all of this old system. But when we look at something like this and the fact that anyone can use Binance, like there is minimal KYC, FTX, anyone can do huge tens of millions, hundreds of millions in trading volume, in trading size. So of course, if this is unregulated, I don't know, by the way, how legal this is in traditional securities. Maybe after the 20s, after the 30s, they made some rules about that. But in crypto, you can do this all day long. Nobody will really find out who you are because there is a minimal KYC in many places. And even if there is KYC, you can do many accounts on many exchanges where there is no KYC because you're below the limit, but you have like 100 accounts. And of course it will happen. I mean, if there are people with money that know that, hey, we can do this Wyckoff pattern where we pump up, because this is basically pump and dump, but a bit in slow motion, because the dump phase is drawn out. The dump phase is drawn out so they can dump as much as possible, and then they can also short before the final big dump. So what do you think about that? Do you think that crypto is highly... And by the way, before you answer, I want to give the shout out to the guy that did the video, because I think I also watched this.
Exactly. I can't remember. It was like another example that, there are these gems out there. Do you have the name? Because I can't...
Uncomplication.
Uncomplication, yes.
And he did one video about Bitcoin like a few weeks back, and today he did about ETH, like yesterday. Yeah. So big shout out to that guy. I also subscribed because I saw it.
Absolutely. So it was one of the best Bitcoin analysis charting videos I've ever seen. Actually, it was something completely new. I truly love the guy. It's like a small channel. He's sitting there with his guitar.
Can we just fucking move on with the fucking video we're watching, dude? Jesus Christ, let's have a commercial break.
So we all wish we found this a bit earlier, but he himself did not believe it, because that's the problem, when everything pumps, it's very difficult to follow like some kind of Wyckoff thing, because it pumps like you're making mad gains, and then it all stops, and that's the point where everyone starts thinking a bit deeper. But once again, it's very important to always keep in mind that this market might look natural, but in reality it can be very unnatural, maybe even more unnatural than a lot in the stock market. And I think it's for sure the case.
Exactly. So the whole game then is to do a little bit against what other people expect, because then you can only sell if there's someone buying, and you can only buy if there's someone selling. So the whole point is to try to trick everyone. And so what could happen from here? If this is truly the game, what typically happens from here? Well, it goes down from here. That's the game. Often there is a bounce up to the support zone. Is that the bounce we already had? I mean, it bounced up here. If you're zooming out, it looks pretty close already, or it's going to bounce further up towards the support zone and then go down again. That could happen on a short time frame. And then what could happen from here then, if this is the game, is that they have offloaded now. So then it goes down, and then it starts again. Then there's a reaccumulation period. There's another pattern that's bottoming it out, and they reaccumulate, and then we go again. That's maybe when we go to 100,000, 200,000. That could very well be the case. Or now a lot of people realize this, so maybe this game won't work then, because it's too easy. Now we can all see it. It's on the channel, on your big channel now, and maybe that game doesn't work then maybe they need to surprise us and do something else. I think the biggest key to succeeding in this is to have a little bit, to be humble, to realize that we don't know what's going to happen next. So don't bet everything, guys. Don't bet everything in one direction. We have to realize that we don't know. One scenario could be that it goes down from here, they reaccumulate, we go up, or they're going to trick us again. Now we think that's going to happen, so they just drive it straight up first instead. And use position sizing, meaning that you don't put everything in. You divide your capital into chunks, and you use one. Then you can be wrong a great number of times, still stay in the game, because when we get this right, when we can follow the trends for a long period, that makes up for all the other times that it doesn't work out. I think that's the key to trend is, don't think that there is someone who is sure what's going to happen next, because it's only the people who's driving the market, and they're not going to share it. So that is the key to play this, I think. And I think maybe, should we look a little at the Ethereum also?
Let's go to ETH. It's also heavily bleeding, and it's down to 2.5, or is it 2.6?
Yeah, because
this one is down 60. This almost 60.
Bitcoin was pain. Look at this. On this, for no particular reason, I just started charting on this exchange. I don't trade on Kraken, but I charted it here, and on that exchange, it's been down 58% from the top in 1 week. From 12th of May, 19th of May, is down 58% from the top to the bottom. Now it's already recovered quite a bit, so that again shows that it's almost always better to wait for the bounce. Don't hang on, and then sell at the end of it. It's better to wait for a bounce. If you're looking to get out, wait for a bounce. But this is little bit, there's one thing that is different with the ETH chart, and that is, at least on my metric, this one hasn't, it is still in uptrend. This one is still in uptrend. And that makes it a little bit different situation. If we look at the ETH to the BTC chart, that has been in a solid uptrend from basically 0.03, 0.035, and still is. And this huge down candle that happened today bounced back up quite strongly. As you can see here, it's like a thin, long candle, but then it bounced back up. So that shows that there is interest for ETH, and ETH suffered even more than Bitcoin in this dump. But
it's a bit difficult to see ETH going anywhere if Bitcoin is on a downward trend, because still it's Bitcoin is what matters. And just like in 2017, Bitcoin reached the peak and then ETH pumped for another month and did the 2x after Bitcoin started to. So do you think that it really matters what trend ETH is in if Bitcoin is in a potentially bearish trend soon?
No, I think you're absolutely right, Ivan. If Bitcoin goes in a strong downtrend, Ether is not going to go up versus US dollar. I don't, that would surprise me a lot. I mean, I never say never, but exactly as you said, in 2017, the top on Bitcoin was towards the mid-end December, which was this top here. And then came the Ether peak in January, a few weeks later.
It did almost a 3x, and ETH kind of did a 3x also now after Bitcoin reached, because ETH was like 1.5k or so, I think, when Bitcoin reached all-time high now a few weeks back.
Yeah, exactly. So the same thing happened here. If we, sorry for flipping charts, but so the peak, the absolute peak of Bitcoin was 14th of April, 2021. which was somewhere here. And then, just like 2017, 2018, a few weeks later, Ethereum peak came. And as we know, at that time, it was not a happy picture after that. It continued down for a very long time. So of course, the same thing could repeat here, or the market makers will again surprise us. It could also be that Ethereum is now in a distribution phase. Could that be the case? Could it be that, the same players are starting to offload their Ethereum and they will play us again here? That's one possibility. Or something drastically different happens. I think it's too early to speculate, but what will happen if I saw today, you told me basically, Ivan, that their Ethereum team is advancing the proof of stake. They will then address the concern of Elon Musk with the environmental impact of proof of work mining. Could something drastic happen here? I don't know. I think, again, it's important to look out for different scenarios and not be so sure of ourselves, because again, we don't know. We don't know for sure, is this the beginning of a Wyckoff distribution on Ethereum? Or is this the beginning of the downtrend, because Bitcoin is already moving into a more negative outlook? Or will there be a complete surprise? And it is at these events when the situation changes, it's almost, if you don't have inside information, basically we're just guessing. What we can say with certainty is that when there is a stable uptrend or stable downtrend, it's likely to continue. At each point, it's more likely to continue tomorrow than it is to change. That's why it works to try to catch the midsection of a trend. But at these pivotal points where things change, where there is a dramatic change in the market, it's very difficult to guess what is going to happen. And I think that's the best way to play it, to be humble, realize that we actually don't know what's going to happen. Will this kind of pattern repeat now for Ethereum because someone is offloading? Or will there be a dramatic change in the market dynamics?
Right. So all in all, guys, the number one thing we should always remember is the risk management, because when you manage risk, and like we've been talking about this morning and many times in the past, taking profits, being sure that no matter what happens, you're still good, is very key. And too many people, what they do is that they try to squeeze the last cent of profit in the bull market, trying to time the top, and the top ends very quickly, like we've seen. So all in all, could this still continue in the bull market? Yes. Could it be the bear market? Yes. This is like always with markets. You only know in the future when it's basically too late. But that's also why you spread out, you take profits when you should, and you manage risks. So guys, go subscribe to CTO Larson for more amazing videos. Check out this guy as well that we found today on complication with the Wyckoff thing. Very good analysis. Any final words, CTO?
No, I just think that we let's try to be a little extra kind to everyone. A lot of people have lost all their money today because they were trading on leverage. So when there is drop like this, many people did not believe it could happen. They thought it was impossible. Turned out that it could happen, and they got liquidated and they have no money left. And that is a hard lesson to go through, that you need to use position sizing, limit the risk, so that no matter what happens tomorrow, because now tomorrow could be another volatile day, don't lose it all. Play the game in a way that no matter what happens tomorrow, you live another day, you can survive to the next established trend, because I can guarantee that blockchain is not going anywhere. The technology as such, the distributed ledger technology, the global money is not going anywhere. This is just the beginning of a technology shift, and just congratulations to everyone who is here at the beginning. And make sure that you play the long game. Don't lose the money in the beginning of the game. We're going to be here talking about this in 10 years from now. And there's going to be a lot of crashes. There's going to be a lot of pumps. There's going to be a lot of distributions and accumulations. And there will be a new perfect wave to play tomorrow. So let's make sure we live another day and don't lose all the money on the way. That would be my
and guys,
strong recommendation.
If you are a developer, there is a way we can help you out. If you join the hackathon and you build something using Muralis, you can win up to 30K. Could be one way of offsetting losses. Second place 15K, third place 5K. So the only thing you have to do is to build something using Muralis, which is the best way to build apps on Ethereum, Binance Chain, and Polygon or Matic. More blockchains are getting supported each and every day. So go and sign up using the link below. And it's like CTO said that, hey, blockchain technology is here to stay. And the best lowest risk investment right now, it's not Bitcoin, it's not some kind of altcoin, it's yourself, that you build something. And the only way for you to build something as quickly as possible is to use Muralis, because there, whether you have an idea for some kind of Ethereum based app, Binance based app, Polygon based app, in the future, basically in a few weeks, we're adding Moonbeam, Plasm is the best way. So invest in yourself, number one. The rest is volatile and out of your control. The only investment you have control over is yourself and your projects. As long as you're not a whale, you can move the markets, you're at their mercy. And the only way you can do investment is by building something. You have full control over that. Guys, so find the links below for everything. CTO, thanks a lot. Very fantastic to have you here and watch your videos. So please continue doing that and we'll be in touch, everyone.
Thank you very much. Invest in yourself, guys. Ivan is 100% right, and Muralis is a fantastic framework. Absolutely.
HODL is all I know how to do. Well, I mean, HODL that shit down to 10K. I mean, I still have a little bit of crypto that is donated. I still have a little bit of that, but I'm starting to think I need to move everything and sell it very soon. Just to not. I should probably be doing that now. Damn it, or at least probably doing it now. I don't know, dude. Now I don't know, dude. There's not a comfortable time to do anything for me. It looks like it's going to go down, though. And I've been saying it's going to go down for months. So you already know what I think. And now that he's then showed that Wyckoff distribution thingamajigger. I don't know, dude. Man, I wish I'd have sold. Like I lost like $100 on. I have one Monero. I lost like $100 on it overnight. Yesterday at 2015, it was 319. Now it's 223. Theo is almost down to what I paid for it. I mean, it's like dropped dramatic. Do everything. I had one of these too that I could have made like 3 times profit on. It got up to 140. My 30 got up to $140. I never sold it. I still haven't sold it. Now my 30 is $60. I bet there's so many people that like have more than just one and they're still just holding on to their shit like, it's gonna go back up, right? Poking it with a stick. I mean, I feel kind of crunchy just losing out on 120 there, and I missed out on like 200 and something on the Monero just because I didn't sell it. At one point it was fucking 520. I bought it for 205. But now it's back down to 220. It's back down to 225. It's like back down to what I paid for it. I might as well hold it now. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Bro, alright. Asshole. Monero, I hate you. What's your problem? What are you doing? You went down too far. So many people got liquidated. I feel bad for all the people that got liquidated, dude, because they were wrecked. Wrecked, everything gone. People actually lost all their money last night. You know what I mean? Like people that, because what they do is they put you put a little bit on leverage, and then you can put a little bit on the side on your books, on your leverage book, and that allows for the price to tank further and you won't get liquidated. But if it falls up far enough and you do get liquidated, then they take your money. They take your money that was in the bank. Kind of shit. I don't know, dude. That's my understanding of it. They take your collateral. The collateral allows you to go further up or down past in the wrong direction, pretty much. Like if you're a leverage long, you want it to go up. And you put more collateral on to allow it to go down. In case it tanks, you won't get liquidated because you have the collateral to cover it. But if it hits, they take your collateral. So what I'm saying is people that had a bunch of money on as collateral thinking, it's never going to go down that far that fast, they got wrecked. They woke up and all their money was gone. And the exchanges are the ones doing it. The exchanges are the ones within the driver's seat of all this because they see the books. They see how many people has leverage, how many people has collateral, how far down they have to go before they get wrecked. They have all the numbers, they crunch them, and they decide, okay, we can do it now. Now's the time, red team go. Beeline's talking shit, they're talking shit. It's time to dumpity dump. They're watching everything. They're watching news stories, Reddit, any fucking discords they might be in. I don't know if I can know, dude. They're watching whatever they can because there's too much money in it for them not to. And once the time is right, they do what they did last night. And at the bottom of it, they pump it. And they hope for people that, like, you remember how that Doug Kaplan dude came in the other day? It was like, hey, did y'all buy the dips? It was literally like 2 days ago. Right? It's like, so about a dip? I bought it at 42. At the time it was 45. And I was like, yeah, you about to get shit on or something. Like, just something didn't feel right about it. Plus he pissed me off when he came in all hot like that. I was like, yeah, you're probably about to get wrecked, dude, because, like, I don't know, it didn't feel right, dude. It was what it was doing. It felt manipulated. And lo and behold, 2 days later, boom. So those people thought that they thought that was a dip, dude. These people think this is a dip, but the exchanges are in the driver's seat. It's like if there are enough leverage positions down on the exchange that it's worth it for them to dump it, that's when they'll dump it. It's all about the leverage. I don't like it, dude. I don't like that leverage is a part of this because it gives the exchanges far too much power and too much money. It just pays them. Every day they get paid. As long as they can liquidate you, they get paid. The house always wins. Oh. That is what, hey, this case was on, but they turned it off. Fine. Opening statement. Let's see this opening statement for the Durst case. Hell yeah, we are. It's not that long either.
We have all of our jury.
Come on, knock at my door. I didn't know you could see that. You saw too much. I'm gonna have to move back down. I'm not too high. I like heights, man. Oh shit. Hey, do y'all want me to keep one of each? One of each? Or y'all not? Do you know is anyone following the ETH sticker? Or, here, I'll just put it here. No, it's too blank. I'm gonna make it smaller though, dude. There. There. Is that okay? Double ticker. Bro. Epic. Alright, let's check this out.
We have all of our jurors present, along with Mr. Durst. Mr. Durst has his lawyers present. Mr. Lewin and the prosecuting attorneys all are present.
Hey, Carol, thank you. I don't know if I'm probably the worst at explaining that.
You may
Whatever I
resume
explain.
your opening statement.
Tried my best. Whatever it was. I know I did. I had to have. That's what I do. Okay, this guy right here, this Robert Durst dude, he was a famous dude apparently. I don't like he was an actor. No, what? Not he was an actor. They made a movie about him. Yeah, they made a movie about this killing, but they dramatized it. They changed things up, and they showed that yesterday. They were talking about the case here. It was in court. It was the opening statements, I believe. But these are the opening. I don't know what the hell those were, dude. I don't know what that was yesterday, but it was. They told us about it a little bit already. If you're here for that, you know what I'm talking about. If not, this is kind of a refresher of that. He killed some people, and then they, like I said, they made a movie about it. He was on the panel, like they did an extra behind the scenes thing for the DVD, and he was on it, like saying some weird shit, even like kind of like, what the fuck? Like, did he do it? Like, he was pretty much like, I don't know, dude. He was pretty much like admitting it to these directors without saying he did it, kind of thing. It was weird. Like saying, I wouldn't have killed the dog. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. I wouldn't have killed the dog. Because they put it that he killed the dog in the movie. But he didn't say, like, oh, I didn't kill the woman, dude. Come on. Like, I mean, so it was like some weird shit already that came up yesterday with this. Also, what was it? Am I forgetting something? What was the movie? It had the dude from Drive in it. Let me just bring that up real quick, because maybe you guys have seen the movie. Okay, I just have to do this to figure it out, because I can't really remember what the name of the movie was, and I'm better at connecting the dots. Which one was it? What was it? Did anybody have it? Anybody have it yet? No. Yeah, it's not in there yet. Okay, it was a little bit later. Holy God Forgives. Was that it? No, that wasn't it. Which one was it, guys? I'm tripping. Is it Touch It? No. Huh? Which one is it? All Good Things? All Good Things. That's it. Let's see if they. It doesn't show him his. It doesn't show his name over here though. Kind of weird. Based on notorious unsolved murder case in New York history. The original screenplay uses newly discovered facts, court records, speculation as foundation story finds. So yeah, it's this one. All Good Things, 2010.
On September 30th, 2011, Morris Black died. He died, the evidence will show.
What are you talking about? This can't be the same one thing, can it? Why did they bring this one up? You just said 2011. This movie came out in 2010. All right, now I gotta look. I gotta do more research. Robert Durst. It came straight up. Robert Durst movie came. All Good Things. Oh, okay, so they're talking about something else then, but it's the same dude. I should have just done that the first time.
In a struggle with Bob Durst over a gun. Bob Durst was defending himself. They fell, and as they fell, the gun went off. Now, I understand that Mr. Lewin ridicules it, saying that a gun doesn't go off by itself.
Maybe this is for a second murder.
But this was a target pistol with a hair trigger, and Morris Black had it in his hand, and Bob Durst's hand was over Morris Black's hand, not on the trigger. The evidence will show that. Here's
hey, we were just talking about that, Lance. We were just talking about
understanding that this came
good video on if you scroll it
from
back.
our trial in Galveston, or at the time of the trial in Galveston. And the
Welcome. But you're right.
Technology has advanced quite a bit since this was done. Now, what you see is the interior of Bob Durst's cheap apartment, and you see a table with a yellow jacket of some kind on it, and you see Morris Black seated at the table when Bob arrives. You will see Bob come in, go directly to where he had hidden the gun from Morris Black, and find that it's not there. Morris Black wasn't supposed to be there. Bob had kicked him out. But Bob came back to the apartment from a jog that he'd taken from the synagogue, which was about 1.5 miles away. And as he got there, he heard the TV and knew that Morris Black must have gotten back.
All right, guys, welcome back to the show.
And he was concerned about the gun. So as the door opens and Bob goes to look for the gun, Morris Black comes up with the gun and starts to point it toward Bob, and Bob grabs it and wrestles with him, and they fall to the ground. As Bob comes in, he's going now to where he had hidden the gun in the oven, and it's not there. So he turns around and confronts Morris as Morris comes up with the gun. They struggle, they fall to the ground, and the gun goes off, and it hits Morris Black and the bridge of his nose. When the bullet strikes Morris Black, you will hear evidence that it's common for there to be blowback or blood spatter. And that means when the bullet hits a human being, hits a subject, blood will recoil back out in a pattern. And there are people who consider themselves experts. The prosecution will call one of them named Tom Bevel, who will testify that from the pattern of the blood splatter, and you can tell whether it's high velocity or low velocity or at an angle or so forth. But here's what the undisputed evidence will show about the pattern. As the blood splatter hits, it comes back and hits the wall of the kitchen. This diagram describes the pattern of the blood. You'll notice that the pattern is an oval. I believe the testimony from the expert will come, and it's common sense, that when the blood splatter comes out from a small point, it goes out in a cone. Those of you who've had solid geometry know that a cone is basically a circle that gets increasingly wider as it leaves the origin. If you dissect that cone straight across, you have a circle. But if whatever dissects that cone goes at an angle across the cone, it will describe an oval.
What the hell does that mean?
The wall is the dissection of that cone of blood. The wall cuts across that cone at an angle.
What does this have to do with
And
shit?
thus, the oval on the wall describes where that bullet hit the body and the origin of the blood splatter. It's all technical. It's also common sense.
Yeah, that's fine.
We believe the evidence will show
Only
that it's consistent with what Bob will tell you was their struggle and falling on the floor of the kitchen and the gun.
this is boring.
Lots of other
Look
evidence.
at that guy.
And put it in the garbage bags with the body parts. The arms in one bag. Each
Hold
left
up, this is getting kind of crazy.
If
Hold
you-
up, hold
the
up.
origin of the blood splatter.
I didn't realize it got all crazy.
It's all technical. It's
What?
also common
This
sense.
motherfucker's looking around and shit. Hold
I believe the
on.
evidence will show that it's consistent
What the
with
fuck?
what Bob will tell you
He was like,
was
hey,
there
what?
struggle and falling on the
What?
floor
What's the
of the
big
kitchen
deal?
and the gun going off.
I didn't know it was gonna put it on him while he was getting blasted.
Bob will tell you that he panicked. He did not have his cell phone. He left it in the car. This is the early 90s, 2001, after September 11, 2001. And cell phones were not as easily portable
Which should the third crypto be in the
20
third
years
corner?
ago
Pick
as
one.
they are today.
What should it be?
He had no phone in the apartment. Morris had no phone. So he ran outside. He ran to the corner by a hamburger joint called Charlie's Hamburger Joint. There was a, excuse me, there was a payphone. He went, there was a woman on the payphone. He ran up to the payphone and asked the woman to get off. She wouldn't. Her boyfriend started to menace him, so he left and knocked on doors in the two houses between there and where he was, where his apartment was. Nobody answered. So he went back inside, and Morris was there on the floor.
Was it?
in a
Are there too many
pool of
likes?
blood,
What?
dead.
Where's your for him? Are you jealous that I have 18
Bob
likes?
panicked
Get a life,
because
dude. Fuck. Got like 20
he
dislikes
knew
probably. Fucking haters.
That he had
You're
rented
everywhere.
that house disguised as a mute woman.
Got haters everywhere.
He knew that Janine Pirro had threatened him, not directly, but with a renewed investigation. it was his house, his gun, and he thought the police would never believe him. So he sat on his bed and tried to decide what to do. He drank some Jack Daniels. He smoked some dope. Bob smoked dope almost every day.
Oh no, I got a shitload of dislikes, dude.
And so he decided that he had to move the
you were trolling me,
body
man.
and dispose of it.
Sorry, my bad.
By the time he made that decision, rigor mortis had set in. The body was stiff. He couldn't move it. And so he decided to dismember the body.
I'm starting to look around.
Awful.
What's he looking at?
He will describe to you how he steeled himself against what had happened, and how he went to Chalmers Hardware to get a bow saw and a paring knife and garbage bags and a drop cloth, a painter's drop cloth. And he'll describe to you as if it, when he was dismembering the body, it was so horrible that it felt like to him he was seeing it happen. He was watching it happen, but he was not there. And he'll describe to you also.
Why is he moving?
How he took evidence, a bill from his optometrist in his name, a newspaper, part of a newspaper that didn't have his name but had the address on it. Lots of other evidence. And put it in the garbage bags with the body parts. The arms in one bag, each leg in a different bag. The body in a bag and in a suitcase. And the head in a bag with an axe.
Probably wants the death penalty. Probably
He went
like,
to
I'm ready to
Galveston
go.
Bay. Galveston Bay is one of the largest bays, inland bays, on the coast of Texas. It's miles across.
No, he's right there.
And miles long. There's an east bay, there's a west bay. He found a place in the dark in a small neighborhood and a concrete pier that went out into the bay a few yards, and there he tossed the bags, all of them, believing that they would sink, believing that the water was deep. Galveston Bay, though, is very murky water. It looks kind of like a cup of coffee with cream in it. It's just, you can't see 2 inches into the water. And the water there was not deep. The evidence is the water was perhaps at the deepest spot in a couple of 100 yards would be up to your knees at high tide and almost a mud flat at low tide. And so not only did the bags not sink, they floated. And Bob came back later and saw that they were floating. And so he went and cleaned out his apartment and threw everything that was left away in the garbage, including the gun. The gun will be in evidence, I'm sure it's here. It's a .22 Ruger semi-automatic, thick barrel, target pistol with a very sensitive trigger. and it has a peculiar, since it's a semi-automatic, it has a slide that comes back and ejects a shell at the same time it injects a shell, but it looks almost like a plunger. Bob threw that that gun and the clip that it had been in it and the empty cartridge and the extra clip
like a Ruger
that was fully loaded in the bags, along with other evidence of who he was, clues. There was blood in the apartment still. There was DNA that the police found. There was blood in his car from the bags as they leaked when he put them in his car. There was clues everywhere, hundreds of clues. Significantly different from whoever killed Susan Berman. Significantly different from the disappearance without a trace of Kathy Durst. Well, of course, it was to be discovered. The next day, a man with his son were fishing on that pier, and they saw a picture, they saw what you'll see in pictures as what first looked like a pig in the water, but turned out to be the torso. The pictures are awful. The testimony of the medical examiner that examined the body was, in essence, there's no injury on the body that could be the cause of death, and clearly the dismemberment occurred after death, but there was no head.
What do you do with it?
The medical examiner said there was aspiration of blood
Oh.
into the lungs.
What do you do?
So Morris Black lived briefly after being shot in the head, but it
That could have been from
indicated that there was
breathing,
damage to the head and the nasal cavity. Otherwise, the aspiration of blood would not have gone in the lungs.
I forget what it's called. It's that breathing you do right when you die.
And the medical
But you're
examiner
already
will
dead.
also testify that the bones that were cut across the bones, not at the joints. An amateurish, panicked
Dude,
way
my
of
hand hurts where it fucking hit
dismembering the
yesterday.
body.
I hit the wall yesterday. I just scratched it, not thinking. Yeah.
And of course, the police
Well, bruised.
carefully examined the contents of all the bags that they found. They found one bag significantly, or
Death
or
rattle.
multiple bags.
It's
Each
got a-
one was double or triple
It's got a
bag.
proper name though.
But they found one bag that was empty. It had blood in it, but it had a large slit at the bottom. We believe the evidence will be persuasive that that's the bag that the head was in, but it came out. And it was washed away by the tide. Nobody ever found the head.
Oh shit. Damn. What the hell? Some animal got ahead of all of it. The skulls probably
They
don't
did find the
float.
gun. And they did find the empty cartridge.
That's disgusting. I think it's
And they
some
did
animal.
find two clips, the magazines for the gun, one with one less bullet than capacity. And the evidence is
Damn, he shot-
persuasive that there was one shot.
One shot.
Bob will tell you
A 22.
that it happened as he struggled with Morris Black for his life, and they fell to the ground.
Wow.
The physical
That's
evidence
crazy. It must have bounced around.
supports it.
That's what they say, dude. If you get shot in the head with a 22, it can bounce around in your skull.
That's a close-up of that.
Because it can't get out. Ugh.
Bob was arrested. He ran.
It's creepy.
He ran to New Orleans, where he had again rented a rundown apartment, dressed as a mute woman. But this was New Orleans.
What?
And the landlord there busted him right away. The landlord there had seen men dressed as women, but it didn't matter to him. Bob ran to that apartment. He stayed there for a few days and then remembered that he had a pair of glasses waiting for him at the optometrist. He doesn't make very good decisions.
You need to pull up your mask when you're done drinking your water, Mr. DeGuerre.
Yes.
This fucking mask bullshit. Oh, it's back down. There you go,
By
buddy.
the time he came back to pick up his glasses,
It's back
the
down.
police had found the receipt from the optometrist. And they'd gone to the optometrist and said, on the slight chance that Bob Durst, by the way, the receipt was in the name of Bob Durst because he was by then living as Bob Durst. If this guy comes back, call us. And he did. He came back. Still nobody in Galveston knew who Bob Durst was. The police didn't know who Bob Durst was.
Mask
just
doesn't
Bob
know who
Durst.
Bob Durst is.
And so he came to pick up the glasses. The girl behind the counter called the police.
No, they're talking about a different murder
They
bass.
stopped him and arrested
Oh,
him.
you're talking about he's acquitted for the females.
Here's a picture of Bob on the day of his arrest.
What?
The police took lots of pictures.
He looks a lot different
This
right there,
was one that they took of
dude.
Bob's hands.
Does he have cancer or something? Dude, he looks way
And
different
here's a
now.
close-up.
What was that?
Of Bob's right thumb. I want you to notice, because the evidence, the picture shows,
Three
on his
people.
right thumb in the web, close to
Supposedly,
the web,
maybe.
between his thumb and forefinger, is what's a resolving blood blister. What this evidence shows is that Bob's finger
Oh, it
was
got
not on the
hit.
trigger. His hand was on Morris Black's hand.
That's an argument. You're drawing a conclusion from evidence. You must not argue but you may present the blister and ask the jury to pay attention to it. You can argue later.
Pay attention to it. We'll argue it later. But that's a resolving blood blister. It's everybody's had a blood blister.
If you don't know where it
think.
came from.
Still sounds like argument.
Motherfucker, stop
Yeah,
being
don't
an
argue,
idiot.
please.
Prosecution always tries to get away. Shut up,
Lawyers can't help it. Stop.
fuckhead. Pull your mask up.
Whoever killed Susan Berman left no clues. Kathy
Oh, he has
Durst
cancer.
disappeared
Oh.
without a trace.
No wonder.
After Morris Black's death, the police found hundreds of clues.
He probably wants to die, dude. At this point, he's probably ready.
On November the 11th, 2003, a jury that looked a lot like you, people from all walks of life, 12 people found Bob Durst not guilty.
Okay, so that was the old hymn that was from maybe, I don't know. Probably not.
After that, Bob pled guilty to charges that arose from dismembering the body and disposing of the body, and from jumping bond, which he did right after he was arrested. He jumped bond. He traveled from Galveston up to the East Coast and was arrested in early November. Of 2001, shoplifting a chicken salad sandwich and a Wall Street Journal and a Band-Aid, because when he shaved his hair and eyebrows, he had nicked himself and needed a Band-Aid. The police arrested him. They put him in custody. And he was taken back to Galveston. After the jury found him not guilty, he owned up to destroying evidence, in other words, the body, and to bond jumping. And he served some more time. They took him up to Pennsylvania and filed gun charges on him up there in federal court. He served a little more time in federal court. He came back to Houston, where he has lived ever since. He's had other homes, but right now his home is in Houston, Texas. And that would have been the end of the story. But Bob wanted his story out. He wanted to explain himself, because everywhere he went, he got stares, and people would look out of the corner of their eyes on him. And he wanted the people, the public, to know that he wasn't the Bob Durst everybody thought he was, that he'd had a rough life, that he'd been hounded all his life. The problem is that he chose the wrong people to tell that story. Andrew Jarecki and his crew had made a movie called All Good Things. It was named All Good Things after the health food store that Bob and Kathy had in Vermont, where they were happy. And it was a movie. Took a lot of imagination. Bob liked the way that Seymour Durst was portrayed in it, because Seymour was portrayed as an overbearing, mean father. And he thought that he would get an honest depiction of his story. And so Andrew Jarecki and his crew started interviewing Bob. Bob cooperated with them completely. And the result was the series, The Jinx. Now, some people call it a documentary. It's not a documentary. It doesn't pretend to be a documentary, but it's called one. It was a series of programs that ran in early 2015. By the time of the fifth segment, there were 6 segments. By the time of the fifth segment, it became obvious to Bob that this was a hatchet job, that it wasn't his story as he wanted it told. It was a heavily edited story to make good entertainment, and in fact it won an Emmy But after the 5th segment, Bob again panicked. He left his apartment in Houston. He had a gun with him. He had a mask with him. He had a fake ID with him. And he drove to New Orleans and rented a hotel room so he could watch the 6th segment, which was the one where they had the heavily edited bathroom tape, where Bob said, kill them all, of course. What the evidence will show is that Bob finally realized what Jarecki and his crew were trying to show, that he killed them all. He knew he'd been fooled. And he panicked. And he ran. But again, Bob and his Asperger's, he doesn't make good decisions. And so although he was in New Orleans, he threw his cell phone out so he couldn't be traced on the way over there. He called back into his answering service to get his messages. And of course, the LA district attorney or the LAPD had trap and trace and warrants on his phone, and as soon as he did that, they were able to trace where the call came from, that it came from the hotel in New Orleans. 2 FBI agents showed up. They arrested him, searched his room, found money, guns, dope. He called right away, as soon as he could, to his lawyers.
So that's going to call for hearsay with no...
He's going to testify about it.
Doesn't matter, it's an out-of-court statement.
This is overruled. Continue, please, and pull up your mouse, please.
If you're on court saying it's not...
I'm just overruling your objection right now. Mr. DeGuerin thinks that this is what the evidence is going to show. Go ahead.
Before his lawyers could get there, Mr. Lewin and his crew got there and started questioning him early in the morning.
Your Honor, that is an inappropriate argument. There is an inference in that statement that there's something inappropriate. Mr. DeGuerin is well aware that the court has made numerous rulings that that was a completely proper... I'm not going to let it stand. I'm not going to let it stand.
All right, but I'm not going to allow speaking objections, Mr. Lewin. Thank you very much. Your objection, though, is sustained, and that is that you are venturing into the world of argument. But you may present the facts, present the evidence that you expect to present.
I expect the evidence to show that Mr. Lewin interrogated...
Your Honor, I would ask the court...
May I stop, Mom?
Please instruct the jury that objection was sustained about that comment. That is a comment that cannot just sit out there.
All right, Mr. Lewin, please. Ladies and gentlemen, disregard any argument that you heard. You will be the judges of the facts. As far as any statements that are made, you may examine the entire circumstance under which the statement is given to determine whether it's true and reliable. I'll instruct you very specifically about statements from a defendant and how to consider those statements. I won't allow argument at this time about that. You may describe the situation, but be careful, Mr. DeGuerin.
Well, the evidence will be clear that Bob Durst's lawyers were not in that interview. The evidence will be clear that it was Mr. Lewin and a couple of detectives that took him out of his cell early in the morning in one of the worst prisons in the country and interrogated him for almost 3 hours. The prosecution says that's a confession. You'll see how Bob Durst was playing Mr. Lewin. It wasn't a confession. The evidence will be that there's no evidence. Went past a couple of slides here. He got the interviews for the Jinx. He had his final interview for the Jinx. 3 years later, after sharing some of their information with the LA DA's office, they began airing the Jinx on March 14th, the day before the final airing of the Jinx, of the last segment. Bob was arrested, and beginning at 6 o'clock in the morning in the New Orleans Parish Prison, Mr. Lewin interrogated Bob for 2 hours and 47 minutes. The only case before you to determine a verdict is the murder of Susan Berman. The evidence is lacking. The evidence isn't there. Bob Durst did not kill Susan Berman, and he doesn't know who did. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. DeGuerin. Now, before we break for lunch, I will share with you my investigation of the dining situation. So you're raising you can't hear me. This is it. Here, wait, let me try this microphone. Oh, a working microphone, cool. The microphone that I had before went to this little recorder for the traffic trials that they did here. I'm talking to it and I'm pressing the buttons, and I still you couldn't hear me. It was turned off. I'm recorded for the next traffic court, though. All right, this is, so I do not recommend restaurants. The court cannot recommend any business, right? That would not be ethical for me to lend my recommendation to a business. It's not allowed. But I'm interested in eating, and you are too. So I haven't been to these places, but I drove down Manchester. So these are driving range if you're driving. So if you drive down Manchester, within 2 minutes you encounter a Subway and a Carl's. Then there is Canton Kitchen, Chinese presumably, and a Charlie's restaurant. Then within 3 minutes, and then La Michoacan, sounds autentico. Next, within 3 minutes is Bravo Charburger, Maria Taco, Jamba Juice, which if you like Jamba Juice, that's pretty good. And then there's Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles if you're into health food. Yeah, I don't know how fast they are. It seems really, really popular, and you might not be able to get back here in time. Also, there is the problem of eating a big lunch, because that you might tend to doze off into pleasant sleep when you ought to be paying attention to the witnesses. So don't eat a big lunch. And if you go just a little bit further, of course, Randy's Famous Donuts. Not really a good lunch choice, but I didn't know if it was open, but it's still there. Now, if you get on the 405, I timed it, was 9 minutes to Westfield Pavilion. All in the dining court, there's all kinds of choices there. I did go there. And also, I have not been to Howard Hughes for a long time, not since before the pandemic, but as I recall, there were restaurants there also. There was not as many as Westfield. So We need to be back by 1:30, so keep that in mind. It may be healthier to bring your lunch and dine out here on the plaza. That's up to you, of course. But I did want to let you know that what I had found. So, ladies and gentlemen, I look forward to seeing you at 1:30 p.m. when we will begin the evidence in this case. Or resume the evidence, because you've already heard some. When we resume the evidence, remember, do not talk about the case or about any of the people or any subject involved in it with anyone, including the other jurors. Do not make up your mind about the verdict or any issue until after you've discussed the case with the other jurors during deliberations. See you at 1:30.
You're muted.
You see, I'm a guy of simple taste.
Far down this way. What? The prediction is coming true. What do you think it's going to stay at 38? Were you here earlier, Spec, or are you just now getting here? Because you need to go look at that link. It's probably not going up. Just go and click that link. It's right there. You're wasting time. You might not want to put a bio in, is all I'm saying. What do you think? You didn't look at the pen. You didn't look at the pen, Spec. Didn't even notice it was there, did you? Wait, we saw that yesterday. It should be coming back. Oh, they're coming back. Hey, did you hear about that dude? Tried to kidnap an 11-year-old yesterday. Yeah, it's probably going down, dude. Because if you look at that, like, right at that timestamp of that video, he goes into that dude's indicator, whatever the dude's thing that it does, and he's from around 100 years ago when he did that, before the stock market was regulated. So it's a lot like what's going on now. It's unregulated. It was an unregulated market thing that would happen over and over, and here we are. It happened. And it looks exactly the same. Hasn't happened to ETH yet, though, they said. Maybe this is its time for it to happen for ETH. They're going to start distributing it before they dump it. And it's going to go back up to 5K again, maybe. Or I don't know. But they say that's not really possible if Bitcoin's continuing to tank. Who cares? Accumulate more? Okay. Hey, dude, I was here in 2017 and 18. I saw those people that accumulated all the way down to 5K or whatever, 3.5K, and they were hurting, dude. And then guess who sold first? Those people, because they were like, "Oh shit, I can finally get my money back." Because that's what happens, man. It's a mind fuck. Once it gets down, like once you're like lost, like half your money is there, a quarter of your money is left. You're like, "God damn, I just want my fucking money back." And then once you get it, and then you double it, you're like, "Oh shit, fuck it." Beep. Those are like some of the first people to get out. I'm pretty sure. The miners are some of the heaviest handed people, because we like miners all know it's going to at least double its last all-time high in the next bull run. So that's probably we're gonna see 120K or so in the next bull run. But like, yeah, dude, those people that like buy all the way down, or they buy and they like just hold and they're like, yeah, it's gonna get back. Like those fuckers sell once it gets like 50% over what they paid for it. Rather than like the people that buy at like 3.5K, those are the ones that are like, here we go. And they're just like chilling with it. Just, I don't know. It's something about, I don't know. You gotta know what it's gonna do. Now we don't know what it's gonna do. No one trusts Bitcoin right now, dude. Honestly, the people that have been around since 2017 don't trust this. I don't. I'm one of those people. I don't see this. Why would it go up? Why would it just start going up again? Elon's backing out. Elon's backing out. That's a big deal, dude. Elon, and people are starting to see that Elon's manipulating it. Like, the people that didn't used to be into crypto, that got into it because of Elon, didn't realize how much power that man has with, you know what I'm saying, with manipulation of, especially a coin like Doge. Even with Bitcoin, though, because even if he's not directly doing it, China uses it. China sees it. They are paying attention to it. Everything that could be considered a buy signal, a sell signal, so that they can use those to dump into us, or maybe even to pump with us. Like it's all a game to China, dude, and they're the most invested. Bitcoin is China's way of taking advantage of America to the fullest, and they do it every bull run. They have the biggest exchanges in Asia, dude. The biggest exchanges on the planet, and the most mining power is coming out of China. Or Asia combined, for sure. Like for all cryptos, Asia combined. Boom, you got it. They own crypto. They're taking your money, dude. They took someone's money in chat. They took my money. I saw that. Hey, look, let's see if Elon's tweet's working. I saw that tweet, dude. It pumped right after that, too. It pumped right after that, like the 42 on Coinbase and to 40 on Binance. Dude, I don't know what, it's having problems finding Elon's tweet. Elon's tweet, it's not bringing it up, bro. I made that one, but it doesn't work. No. Yeah. Why doesn't it work? I must know. Proof of stake coins hash rates are irrelevant. Hey, McGreeny, stop being a fucking blabbermouth. What you're even talking about anymore? Why are you bringing up hash rate? Why the fuck are you... Dude, you're an idiot. Bitcoin's hash rate always matters. If Bitcoin dies, all your fucking bullshit shit coins that no one cares about also die, dude. Hash rate doesn't matter to the stake coin. Bitcoin is king. It dies. Y'all die. It's weird though. It says 63% of people are buying BTC, only 37% selling on Coinbase, and only 37%. What do you mean? It's 63% of people are buying, and 37%. So you're saying 1% of people aren't doing shit? Wait, no, what do you? I don't understand. Okay, no. You're saying that more people are selling than buying. I got you, but what's your point? What is weird about that? That's how the price goes. Like that's how you make the price move down. When more people are. Are you saying people are 60 are buying? More people are buying than selling. Yeah, I don't. Where do you get these numbers from? Okay, well, then that should tell you something, dude. You're supposed to follow the money and stocks and crypto and shit, not do the opposite of what the big boys do, because the big boys aren't going to lose money. They're the the ones controlling which direction shit goes. If you try to do the opposite of them, you're gonna get greedy wrecked. You know what I mean? Where are these people at? We'll continue the court case, man. See, where is Elon? God's tweet, man. It should work. For some reason, it has a hard time. Yeah, Coinbase people are stupid, dude. Honestly, because their fucking price for BTC is 2K higher than Binance. I mean, it was like an hour ago. Binance, it was 39.5 and it was 42.5 on Coinbase. I'm like, what are y'all doing over there, dude? Still like that? This is the Binance price that you're seeing on the screen. So, is it 42 right now on Coinbase? Let's see. Oh, I think it didn't change. It was supposed to change. Oh, there it goes. Oh, now it equalized. It equalized. Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. Yeah, it equalized. I was like, dude, y'all get kind of stupid over there. Like they weren't looking at the other exchanges at all. They were just buying. Zoom. What else we got? These people saying. See what these people are saying. Let's see. Do you think that they think that they think they think? What do they think? Hey, what do they think? They think it's this dude thinks major wave 3. They corrected a little deep. Shitcoin, you got a shitcoin. Bro, dude, like Ravencoin dropped so much this morning. I would have been sick if I had a bunch of it. Maestro had a 1 difference with. Oh wow, so Coinbase was even way higher than GDAX. Russell Brand talked about Bitcoin. Maybe 2 days ago. Wait, I can probably just tell what he said without even watching it. Next video in a few weeks, these 10 altcoins are gonna go to the fucking moon, mate. Oh shit. So it was like he was promoting it, and then 2 days later, it tanks hard. Oh man, dude. Like, maybe. How's this here? Oh. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it, dude. Heard. going on, Ted? 22 people. Oh, this is about to start back up. What's wrong with his head, dude? It looks like he got hit in the head with something. What's going on, man? He looks way worse than that now, though. There you go, dude. Oh. Hey, Spec was first today, y'all. I saw it. Ay, ay, ay. Ay, 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 ay. That's a jam, dude. That was the jam back in the day. Dude, 16 minutes, you little shits can't wait 60 minutes. Just sit there. Just sit there and stare at nothing. What? You had to go to the meeting? What? Dude. Bring me to the meeting and set me there so everybody can. He's gonna be in the meeting with us. You can set up your camera. You can Zoom call it next time. We can all be quiet and listen to your meeting. It's a lump, dude. He's got lumpitis. I don't know, maybe they tried to fix his cancer and it didn't work. Legs, my knees hurt. I don't know why. Right. Hey, this is the Fred Durst Show. Welcome to the Robert Durst Show. I mean, Fred Durst. Oh, that's somebody else. That's Slim Biscuit, dude. Is this related to Fred Durst? That's what's going on, dude. Is this a Fred Durst uncle? This is Fred Durst uncle, dude. He kind of looks like Fred Durst. Hey, I'm talking to you, boy. Who are you? All of you. Dude. Is that Fred Durst's uncle? Great uncle. It's his great uncle. Oh, hold up. His great uncle. Hey man, y'all are fucking zero information right now for me. You make me do all the typing 99% of the time. No one knows if he's related to Fred Durst. Fuck, man. Oh my god, what do you know? You don't know shit. I mean, look. I'll fucking find out because y'all make me do everything. Okay, looks like this guy didn't have any kids. This guy was born in North Carolina. No, Florida.
Please, sir. I want some more.
Oh, it's so Kiwi Bear. How you doing? Dollar high. We got the dollars. Ayo. Hey, that's 70 cents actually. Huh. You gotta, I don't know, whatever. First dono of the day high. We got a dollar. We got a dollar. I'm gonna be like, oh shit. $5,000 dough hike. He's rolling in the dough. Now for $1, you don't get any more dough after that. You don't even play the game. But you do get 5,000 for the first dono. Because it's 5 times your dono amount. 5 times your dono amount on the first dono. Hey, wait. It's actually not 5 though, because it's not $5. Now to think about it. It's 70 cents. USD value per dollar. That's actually like 7 times 5. It's actually 350. That's actually 350. Gosh, that's 3,500. So this guy is not related to the other guy after all. And you have to donate $10 to get on the ticker down here. I don't know how these other guys ended up on the ticker for less than 10. How they did that. How did they do that, man? When did they do that? Get him out of here. 10 and above on the ticker only. So making his name on the top of my screen. He only spent 70 cents to get up there. I'm gonna fucking take him off if y'all don't. Watch. Dude. If I could make it so you couldn't get on there for fucking 70 cents, I would, dude. He just put his name on my stream for 70 cents. Could somebody please help me here? Or I'm just, alright, I'll just delete it. Okay. I'm putting Ruby Oceans back up there.
Please, sir. I want some more.
How about
Thanks
that?
for the show.
I'm not fucking letting someone do that, dude. Not doing that. That's this show. No, that cheapens my show, dude. It makes other people want to give me fucking less than $1 donations. I'm good on that. I don't like less than $1 donations. Don't do that. If I could make it so you couldn't give me those, I would. Dude, I'm gonna take your name off of there. I'm gonna take your name off of there as soon as it's there, dude. Actually, just letting you know that. I have to wait for it to pop up, though. I knew that's what you did the other night, too. You fucking blasted those donos and you made it fill up my ticker, dude. And I was really mad about that the next day when I realized what you did. Because you took off high dollar donos. People that spend like $25 to be on there with their message, their well thought out message, nice, kind, and you just fill it with your bullshit. Yeah, I caught on to that shit pretty fast. It took me to get some rest to see what you were doing. $1.40, I don't have much. I know what you're doing, dude. I know what you're doing. Just save your money. If you don't have much, keep it. If you don't have much money, if you seriously, keep it. $5 and over, or I'm gonna skip it.
Please, sir. I want some more.
That's how it works. I'm gonna skip it. I'm gonna get it off of the. I'm gonna get it off of the board.
Please, sir. I I want some more.
Thanks for the show.
Yeah. I'm gonna get. I mean, thanks for your 70 cents, dude. But that's how this works around here, man. I see what you're doing. You're attention whoring for your little fucking 70 cents. If you got it that bad, keep your money. Buy your fucking rent or whatever you need, dude. You'll join. Your joining won't make me less pissed off about your dollar donos. Honestly, they won't. I've always been like this, dude. Dude. I can't stand it when people fucking. That's a troll, dude. I know because I've done it. I've done it to people. I've trolled people with dollar bills like that in chat, and you only do that shit to troll. You don't fucking give your delivery guy dollar bills at a time when you want to give him money, do you? No. You fucking want to give $3, give it all at once. Don't give it one at a time. That's fucking annoying for everybody. Especially when they're not even worth $1. You can't even put a message next to it or anything. At least if you spend $2, I think you're even able to put a message next to it. But you're doing it on purpose so you don't have to put a message. Stop being a cheap fuck, Muzza. It's a bad look for Kiwis. New Zealanders, by the way. You're making all of your fucking people look bad by being a cheap fuck, dude. BTC Wallet, you can donate BTC with the 1UP link. It says it in chat sometimes too, dude. Like, it probably, if you scroll up, you'll see that it says, where is it? Is it? I'm just checking to see how often. Yeah, it's there. Crypto donations are acknowledged in real time from here. If you scroll up, you'll see that. Stream element says it, and there's a link there. It's not the donate link, that's different. Whatever. Hey, y'all keeping me fucking busy, aren't you? Apparently I gotta make a one so that I can make that say that whenever I want to, rather than depend on the timer. It takes me literally less than a minute. Boom. Oh, wait, did it do it when you typed? What do you say, my bad? Oh, no, you're good, dude. You're keeping on my toes, really. I didn't know it would do it. When you press donate, it did it. I think that was just a fluke. That was actually just a fluke. It just happened to say it again in chat. Right, let me see. Okay, it's about to start. That's the best way to get recognition. It's actually, if you put crypto, now it should. Sweet. Okay, it works now. Oh, wait, yeah, it works now. Crypto for crypto dono link. Bro, Robert Durst trial hype. Who was I going off on? Oh, Muzza. Yeah, Muzza. Plus, dude, that's an attention-seeking IP2 thing to donate small amounts. I've noticed that. All those IP2 people, most of them, a lot of them, especially the ones, I should say, that watch, the trolly ones that watch the streamers that don't mind being trolled, that don't mind getting dollar bills. Well, those viewers love giving just dollar bills because then they can get acknowledgement for the bare minimum. That's what it's all about. Kind of, it's what it is for that kind of streaming is get acknowledgement, make a slapstick humor type bullshit comment. All for $1. Get some acknowledgement from chat if you're funny. I don't know what the hell he's doing it for, not putting a message beside it. Just to, I think it's actually just to put his name on the screen. Like, some people like seeing their name on a screen, dude. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, look at that shit. I'm part of the fucking thing, and I don't have to do anything. I just had to give 70 cents. And I'm part of his 12-hour-long show. My name's there forever. Huh. I mean, it's one thing when that's a sub that pops up, and that rarely even happens anymore. But I don't mind that. I don't mind a sub's name being up there for a while, because especially if they're a new person, they're like, oh shit, I'm part of the show. But someone just to come in and be like, hell yeah, boom, I'm gonna knock off that $5 dono that someone gave for my 70 cents, and now I'm part of the show. Nah, we ain't gonna let that happen. The more you give, the more recognition you get. That's how life works. Like another day, I went off on Xenofast, and I'm sorry about that. I just want to tell everybody I need to stop going off on y'all, especially the people that have contributed the most. Dude, I get in my moods, and I'm starting to get out of it a little bit. Hopefully, I still got to get some shit taken care of. A lot on my mind. Oh, this dude has bladder cancer. They're saying the guy that that this case is on. Dang. Did chat just stop, dude? Actually, 12, 13, 26. Chat stopped 3 minutes ago. Everybody's looking at the VOD or what? Oh, bro, chill out. Okay. Hey, gotta slow down a little bit, you know what I mean? Dude, this spider's doing some weird shit. Seems like it's so meticulous, dude. But it's web. It looks like it's just like squirted up there, but it puts every strand in a specific spot. My spider, my spider, my spider and me. buddy. Dude, if this thing was on my face in the middle of the night, I would freak out. I would actually panic, dude. I'd be hitting myself probably. Like, nah! Because it's pretty big, dude. I mean, I would think it was a black widow or something, probably. My mom got bit by a black widow when I was younger. I almost killed her. It was in the bed. I've had a black widow in my bed too once. I didn't know until later that day.
0002500 BTC.
Anonymous? It says anonymous, bro. How do I... You could've... Damn, you could've put your name. Wait, who are you? Hey man, whoever you are, thanks for the $10 in BTC, man. Who are you? You gotta... I don't know, you gotta put your name next time. Hey, god dang it. Now it doesn't go on the board. It doesn't go on the list of for donos. Your name would have been on the weekly list. Oh man, you would have gotten full recognition. I want you to get recognition. I can't put it up there. Who are you? Was it the... Who was that? Was it... 606? Was it 606? Probably. He just asked about it. 606? I don't know if it's him though. 606! Would you give me... Who do I get this dough to, man? Should I sell? Bruh. Umbrella node? I want to test the umbrella node. Nice. What is that? I don't know why I didn't put your name next to it, dude. Unless she wanted it to be anonymous. I'm saying this, that was a little too... Alright, let me put the... I don't wanted it. Hey! Muzza, know our feelings, man. Muzza. Gotta be like that. 10, 50, 60. It's gotta be like that.
That I'd like to discuss with you before the lawyers come in. So, as Mr. Lewin came to me with Mr. DeGuerin, Mr. Chesnoff,
I added that to your account.
Lewis, a
66, thanks
after
again,
that argument. So I had two problems. One was I do not want speaking objections. If you object, I'll review what was stated and I will rule on the objection. That's all you may do. Looking now at what Mr. DeGuerin said, I see what he said was, before the lawyers could get there, Mr. Lewin and his crew got there and started questioning him. So before the lawyers could get there doesn't suggest that the lawyers were on their way
go on the...
and that Mr. Lewin unethically or illegally...
It didn't go on the ticker because it wasn't
with
10.
Mr. Durst, and that would not be its argument. It's veiled argument, but it's argument.
Should I lower it to 5?
And as I made it clear to you when I spoke with you, the fact that Mr. Lewin was involved in this interrogation gives him an enormous advantage in this case in some ways, but also makes him vulnerable to criticism as an interviewer during the interview itself. The jurors, so there's a very, I think, a delicate balance between criticizing each other as advocates, which I will not allow, all right, or to impugn the integrity or the ethics of the lawyers on the other side, I will not allow. the circumstances under which that interview took place are fair game. In other words, the fact that though he waived his rights, he did not have a lawyer, fair game. But the suggestion of this was not. So Mr. Lewin sent me a proposed admonition. Did you look at it? Did you see it?
No.
I would abbreviate that very much. But I mean, there are some words here I would use. But what is your posture on me telling the jury, for instance, that the interview by DA Lewin and the LAPD was lawful, and I would add, and ethical, and that Mr. Durst participated in the interview without an attorney after being advised and waiving his rights?
Your Honor, could I just make a statement?
Yes.
Because a couple of things in this with regard to this. Let's suppose that in fact we want to establish that during the course of a particular interview, Mr. Lewin was leading the witness. It seems to me we're entitled to do that, because regardless of him being a prosecutor on the case, at that point he's acting as more as an investigator, and we have a right to say that the investigator is doing something which could produce testimony which is not wholly accurate. So
the nature of the questions are fair game.
And Your Honor, no objection to what Mr. Ray just said. I have no problem with that point.
Okay, but Mr. Ray speaking, you're not done.
The other had to do with the, I forgot now what it was, that the advisement that you just read.
He waived his rights. He was advised and waived. Right?
Oh, I think that what it's done is it's prejudging, quite honestly, the nature of how the jury could ultimately view that interview, because there are circumstances of that interview that were really horrendous. I mean, he literally was taken out of a freezing place and offered food and coffee if he'd come and talk.
Sure, but okay, but you can say that. But are these things that I'm suggesting might be appropriate to say, for me to say, and what I say must be very limited. But I do. But to correct a criticism of an advocate's integrity is a problem that I think is legitimately addressed.
Your Honor, I know that the court is very careful about trying to protect the integrity of the attorneys in the case, and I fully respect that. My only concern is that the language of the court used not be in a situation that has the jury presupposing that there is no problem whatsoever with the way this interview was conducted. If in fact we are eventually going to be able to show that there is some problem with some of the interview or this interview or others were conducted.
Just to respond, Your Honor, they can address and attack anything about the actual interview in terms of if they think the conditions that it took place on, that you can say his lawyers weren't there. You can say that he was cold, all of that. What the court said is absolutely true, and it rebuts the inference that it was improper for the interview to take place. Now, I would add, Your Honor, although the juror is dismissed, we had a juror who has already brought that issue up. And what's interesting, Your Honor, is that was a juror who we caught going through media stuff. And Mr. DeGuerin, from the very start of this, has been very vocal in the media and interviews, accusing me originally of prosecutorial misconduct and unethical behavior regarding that interview. So what the court is saying that they'll instruct is absolutely appropriate and necessary. And the court's abbreviated instruction is fine, Your Honor. We have no objection to it.
Mr. Chesnoff wanted to interject. Do you want to? Who's speaking?
If I just finish, I would have no objection personally for you saying to him that it's not that he is not unethical, but I think at some point the jury may have to come to a decision as to whether the conduct was troubling enough so that they would want to weigh the information that they got out of it.
I'm going to instruct them that they can, but I'm not sure I should do that now.
Your Honor,
yes.
I apologize. I didn't hear exactly what it was that actually requires this. In other words, what?
Yes. I'll repeat it. So it was the inference in the opening. Let's see.
Before his lawyers could get there to the area.
Before his lawyer could get there, Mr. Lewin and his crew got there and started questioning him.
Okay.
That's
before the lawyer could get there. The implication of that is a wrongdoing, as if he's taking advantage of.
If you put it put it in context, Mr. Durst himself told Mr. Lewin if his lawyers were there, he wouldn't be talking to him.
Oh, yeah, I know that part. Let's see, before his lawyer could get there. So,
Well, that's a fact.
Your Honor, and the problem is the inference cannot be looked at in isolation. They have been making these statements.
no, that doesn't matter. In the media, it doesn't matter.
Your Honor, this admonishment needs to happen.
We moved to suppress it based on the fact that we said it was a coercive interview.
No, you said it violated that is incorrect. You said it violated the Sixth Amendment, and you said it violated prosecutorial ethics.
Before his lawyer could get there, he and his crew got there and started questioning him.
That's true.
No, it is not true.
Well, yeah, it depends on the tone of it. Also, Mr. Lewin and his crew also is sure. I mean, so that's an aspect that gives meaning to it, that lends a disrespectful quality. Crew is like a gang. They got there and started questioning. So it carries connotations of unlawfulness. So the interview that was conducted with Mr. Durst by Deputy DA Lewin in the Los Angeles Police Department was a lawful and ethical interview. No?
Your Honor, I don't know where in the law the idea that somehow a search or an interview is ethical.
Okay, lawful.
Your Honor, ethical.
I'm still talking.
No, Your Honor, ethical needs to be there. The AG's opinion, we litigated this. I gave the court authority. It's a 1993 California Attorney General.
Okay, I remember.
Saying it's entirely ethical.
That's true. I did. Okay,
the court used that word before in court, saying it was ethical.
Right.
They don't want it in there because they want the inference that it's unethical.
I got that part.
All right.
Thanks for your help.
Hence the adversarial system.
Yes.
Okay.
With shots above the belt.
Okay, I'm not. I am. I think it's.
I think you're making more out of it than he really thought it was.
You know, he.
I think if you say it's lawful, Your Honor, that clears it up for the jury that there wasn't an unconstitutional interview. And I think if you say ethical, it highlights it and actually is counterproductive to what the court will be trying to accomplish.
I'll remain open to, after further argument, to also saying that it's ethical at a later time. I'm going to say it's lawful.
The court's not going to say it's ethical?
Well, you didn't even recommend that. That was my own invention.
Your Honor, the problem is, Your Honor, it needs to be said, it is ethical, that is a true statement of law, and the court has previously said this in motion. Your Honor, I'm not going to have my integrity impugned continually, so just think for a second, Your Honor, they don't want you to say it's ethical.
Now you're starting to act contrary to your good character, because you are usurping my role.
Your Honor,
what you will not have presumes that you may tell me what to do, which you may not. So let's stop it. It is ethical.
What is the court's final instruction?
Yeah, ethical. Ethical. It's fine. It's ethical.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Not unethical, I guess.
Yeah, Judge.
This is what happens. Most respectfully, Your Honor.
Yes, stop.
Your Honor, this is what happens.
Yes.
You rule,
yes,
tentatively at least, rather than doing what you said, which is to listen to the court and allow the court to be the arbiter. The state of California continues to badger until the court does what the state says. I'm sorry to say it, Your Honor. That's just what just happened.
Mr. DeGuerin, you've.
I was going to say it in a little bit more colloquial terms. I think he just beat you down.
Your Honor, that is completely disrespectful. The court has let the defense relitigate some of their motions 20 times, and the court continues. In the end, Your Honor, either what I've asked for is the state of the law, and the defense has repeatedly tried to create the inference that I was unethical. I appreciate the court recognizing that and giving that appropriate instruction. It's not asking for anything that should not be given. And the court changing the last word to was not unethical is fine.
Yeah, it was my idea.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And one final word. What I said was true. Before the lawyers could get there, Mr. Lewin and his crew interrogated beginning at 6 in the morning.
Your choice of words changes its meaning. All right, you shade meaning. You choose words carefully. In fact, I have rarely met an attorney as skilled as you in shading meaning with words, and that's a great quality. It makes you very persuasive, and I appreciate it. I get it. It carries an insinuation that is of unethical conduct. And
Your Honor, just for the record,
I can't allow it.
For the record, nobody has ever said that Mr. Lewin doing what he thinks is right in this circumstance was unethical. The only thing we've ever done is challenge it based on the circumstances that Mr. Durst found him in. The court ruled against us, but it was never suggested that, and it's not now.
It has been said in court, Your Honor, and to the media both. If
All right, no,
here's wants transcripts pulled, I can do it.
Not by me.
Stop.
By Mr. DeGuerin.
Stop. Now, the people keep referring to the media, and sure, that's important. You want to protect your reputation after it's being assailed. What I say to the jurors, though, is focuses upon the law and how they are to consider evidence. Beyond that, there is a concern that I have about the assaults on character ad hominem argument against counsel. I need to be very careful about that, in particular because you are subject to criticism, and you will receive it, Mr. Lewin, and that's not personal. That is part of the defense in this case. So I'm going to protect you in that way, but I am not going to protect you from the facts of this interview.
And Your Honor, the people did not ask for it.
That's right. Okay. Let's bring in the jury.
Who's going to be on so we know who gets to sit here? Yeah.
Your Honor, I told Mr. DeGuerin that if you wanted.
We're supposed to be on the.
I was just, when they were arranging, I told them.
Are you on the record?
No, this is off, Your Honor. I'm just trying to help.
Okay.
I was just trying to help. I told Mr. DeGuerin.
I wrote that song last night. It took me all night. Did you hear the tonals in it? I got the with the you do it together. You see what I'm saying? It's next level. It's my magnum opus. I think I'm finally gonna make it. Oh man, feels good. I finally did it. I made the hit. I won. It didn't happen overnight though. I mean, it took all night, but it's all the years, man. All the years of throat singing, listening to other throat singers. My cat. I gotta think my cat. The tones that a cat can create will teach you, man, what you're able to create if you try to be more cat-like.
have all jurors and alternates present. Mr. Durst is present with his lawyers.
Matthew Thomas, what's up, man?
Mr. Balian, defense prosecution team is all present. I did want to respond to an objection at the end of the defense opening with regard to a statement by Mr. Durst. The interview that was conducted with Mr. Durst by Deputy District Attorney Lewin and the Los Angeles Police Department was a lawful and ethical interview. Mr. Durst participated in the interview without an attorney after being advised and waiving his rights. That's all I have to say about that objection. So, with that, I am going to now let the people resume their presentation of evidence. You may recall the witness you left off with.
Officer Sharif.
Officer Sharif.
Come on, bitches. Invite your friends up in here. The case is starting. Sit down. Grab your mango slices.
Technically, it may not be needed, but we're going to swear him again.
Please come stand in the witness stand. Please raise your right hand. Do you solemnly state that the testimony you're about to give and the cause now pending before this court shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? So help you God.
Yes, I do.
Please be seated. Please state and spell your first and last name.
First name is Rashad, R-A-S-H-A-D. Am I allowed to take off my mask or leave it on?
I'm sorry, you must leave it on.
Okay. Okay, where was I at? First name, Rashad, R-A-S-H-A-D. Last name is S-H-A-R-I-F.
Thank you.
You may examine the witness, Mr. Balian.
Thank you, Your Honor. Officer Sharif, can you please answer the last question before we broke last time we were here?
I forgot what I had for breakfast today.
He practiced that for 14 months.
No, he's been waiting for a long time to ask that.
I apologize. Your Honor, we actually had finished questioning and it was time for cross-examination, I believe you said.
Very well then, Mr. Chesnoff, you may cross-examine the witness.
First of all, let me apologize for having my back to it. Normally you'd be there and you'd see me, so my apologies.
If you want to use the left turn and cheat it, you can also.
Okay, that's fine. I'm good though, Your Honor, if you are with me here.
As you wish.
Thank you, Your Honor. Nice to see you again.
All right, pleasure.
Glad you're safe. At the time of your discovery of Ms. Berman's body, you were a training officer, is that correct?
Correct.
And you were training rookie police officers in procedures, correct?
Yes, sir.
One important thing that you would train for is the preservation of crime scenes, is that correct?
Yes, it is.
And that's part of the training. You talk to the rookies, you explain the importance of keeping crime scenes as secure as possible, correct?
Correct.
Another is to make sure that they don't destroy any potential scientific or forensic evidence, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is SID?
Scientific Investigation Division. That is our kind of crime scene for the LAPD.
That's the CSI of LA?
Yes, sir. Okay. Civilians.
And they come to the crime scene after you have secured it, is that correct, generally speaking?
Yes.
Okay. And they come in and they look for blood or fingerprints or scrapings under a victim's nails or hair or fibers from hair or from clothing, fingerprints, DNA, isn't that what they're going to come in and look for?
Yes. Okay,
and they'll look on different items that would be in a house, like a coffee cup or a telephone or a newspaper, any item that they think might provide them with some scientific evidence, correct?
Yeah, I think they're directed by like the lead detective would tell them, hey, you got to check this, check that.
And of course, one of the most important parts of the crime scene, and in this case, was the area where you found Ms. Berman's body, correct?
Correct.
And oftentimes, the SID people will look for evidence around the body or on the body of the deceased. Is that fair?
Yes.
And it's important to see that the crime scene isn't compromised, so these SID folks can do their job of securing the valuable forensic evidence, correct?
You mean as far as I'm concerned, or the police, the officers are concerned?
Yes.
Yes, we have to keep it as well pristine as it was, you know, when we started the investigation or arrived on scene.
And that's one of the things you train these officers, correct?
Correct.
And I think Officer Takina, is that how you pronounce it?
Tarakina.
He was a rookie that you were training at that time, correct?
Yes.
And he was with you, correct? Now, one way to avoid contaminating a crime scene is to wear protective garb, correct? Plastic boots, gloves.
Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen that before.
Okay, now there were 4 patrol officers
Yeah,
present.
I've seen that. I've seen that before.
There was yourself, Officer Hale, Officer Takina, and Officer Mendoza. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And no disrespect intended, but at the time, after you discovered the body, none of you wore protective gear after the body was discovered, did you?
No, we did not.
Okay. Now, I'm going to show you some photographs, I hope, with some help from my colleague.
These are labeled, marked.
Sorry?
The first one is the People's 31-0.
The first one is People's 31-0. Do you recall that picture being the kitchen of the house you discovered her body in?
It appears to, just that little section, I can't be 100% sure, but it looks like the kitchen.
That TV, it comes off when there's no source. So we need to turn that on again. It's one of those power saving things, right? No? Yeah. All right, we need to pause a minute to reallocate seats here. We're careful about our seat capacity in each location.
Thank you.
Yeah, is this working now for both? No, it's not working.
I can't see what's on the screen here, because my screen is split now. It's the interruption.
So you'll need to pivot?
If he calls him by the exhibit number, he can put him up on his computer if you want.
Yeah, okay, if you don't mind. This was 31-0.
Do you have a list for them?
And then I have the rest of these that we're going to mark as we go, and I can give you a copy.
That won't be hard to read. If you read the 4 digits on the bottom, or the 3 digits.
I can read you the 3 digits.
We can do it that way.
Let me just give you a
Thank
copy
you.
now.
I'm glad all these people are here. I'd be lost.
What's that?
Oh, right, you can use the elbow. Oh, there you go.
Mr. Milius,
I'm giving, yeah, perfect.
Mr. Milius, we have the elbow here.
Great.
All right, whichever way.
31-0?
Yes, it's part of 31-0. Would you agree with me, officer, when you previously testified, the state showed you a series of photographs which were subsequently identified and marked and put into evidence as 31-0? Does that help you?
Now that I can see the full picture, I definitely remember this.
Okay, thank you. And of course, you see on the countertop, there's all sorts of items that would be amenable to review by the SID to see if somebody touched them, somebody bled on them, somebody drank from them, somebody put a cigarette out in them. There's all sorts of things available to examine. Is that fair?
Yes.
Okay. You see the newspaper that's on the table?
Correct. Yes, I do.
Do you remember, by any chance, having looked at that and seen what date was on that newspaper?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Now I'm going to show you a photo. Am I doing this right, Phil?
No, we've got it over here. Just
Oh, you do?
Which number?
It is 73.
For the record, when he says 73, this is not how they're marked for the court. This is an internal reference number to project them, so he should call it.
Yeah, this would be a
Defense
one.
one.
Defense.
Defense
A.
Exhibit
A. Sir, do you see that photo?
Yes, I do.
The person in the shoes, are those the shoes that are worn by the patrol officers?
I don't believe so.
Do you believe that those might be the shoes belonging to either someone from the paramedics or perhaps the detectives who came to the scene?
Objection calls for speculation.
overruled.
Well, I'll say it's definitely not a uniformed officer. It could be someone else that was at the scene, but just from the way the pants appear and the type of boots, does not appear to be a uniformed officer, one of the four of us from that day.
But the only people that were there were either the uniformed officers, the people from the fire department, someone from SID, or a detective, correct?
Correct.
So it's someone in a law enforcement capacity, is that correct?
Yes.
Is that person wearing booties?
No, they're not.
Would you tell the jury how far you think that person is from the body?
3 feet maybe?
Okay, so within 3 feet of the newly discovered body, there is a person from law enforcement not protecting the scene by wearing booties, for example, correct?
Correct.
Do you see the telephone there?
Yes, I do.
Does it appear to be off the hook?
Yes.
Okay. Did you do anything, or did you see anybody do anything to secure the phone to see whether or not there were fingerprints on the phone?
No. When I went in there, the phone was off the hook, and we just left it there.
I'm going to show you what's number 64, which I believe is still part of the defendant's exhibit A2.
It would just be, oh, it's part of it. Did we mark this already as A with smaller parts? Okay, so we'll group them after you complete the...
Hey, good evening. This afternoon, Budapest.
Sir, you see that the phone jack is disconnected from the wall unit?
Yes, I do.
Okay, and this is another location that someone doing an investigation of a murder could examine for fingerprints, for example?
I mean, I don't know if they can, what items they can get fingerprints off of in that, like the wires or anything like that, but it's definitely evidence marked by the yellow number 1.
Right, because it would be a relevant factor for an investigator that a phone was disconnected from the wall, perhaps by the intruder, correct?
Correct.
I'm going to show you number 53, part of the same collection.
A3.
Sir, do you see this photo, which seems to suggest that there are wood chips from the door jamb of that particular door in the room that we're talking about?
I'm going to object to misstating the evidence. I don't know if those are wood chips or paint chips.
This is a question which the witness may answer.
Okay, can you say it again, please?
Just to make it easier. How would you characterize the droppings under the floor jamb, the white particles? What would you call them?
Either paint chips or wood chips, just looking at the photos. I can't tell which one, but something looks like related to the door or the wall.
And based on your experience, and you've been an officer for like 30 years, correct?
Correct.
Have, in your experience, you've seen situations where a door was locked and someone forced the door open and it caused damage to the door frame?
I mean, if you want to get technical, I would probably say you might see it more where the door knob was. I don't know if I've seen something where it's at the door jamb, I would say.
Okay. Now, previously, in the last photo, there was a marker with a, I think it was a 1 on it. Is that correct?
Yes, yes.
In this photo, which was taken by law enforcement, correct?
Correct.
Nobody even bothered to mark this as a potential source of evidence, did they?
I don't see a number there, so I don't. Somebody took the picture, but I do not see evidence number where the other one had the 1 by it.
Right, and the numbers are there so that when the SID people can come in, they can look at relevant spots, like the bullet casing will have a number, the phone jack has a number, correct?
Yeah, I don't want to say for sure because I don't know, but normally the SID are the ones that put down the numbers because it's something that they want to make sure they have documented or taken a photo of.
Now, when you, at some point, went out into the backyard, did you not?
Yes, I was in the rear yard.
Okay, did you notice that in the rear yard, it abutted a very hilly area? Do you remember that?
I know the area is hilly, just offhand, I don't remember if I looked out and saw the hills or not.
Did any of you or your fellow officers do anything to look in the backyard or the hilly area for any evidence connected to the murder?
Not myself or the 3 officers I was with.
Did you observe anybody in the hilly area doing any observations to garner evidence?
No, I did not.
And of course, at that time, you didn't actually know when the murder had occurred, did you?
No, sir.
In fact, when you got there, you actually did some work inside the house looking to see if perhaps the intruder was there, correct?
Yes.
So at the time that you were in the backyard, or at the time these other detectives came, this event had just come to your knowledge, and you folks were interested in discovering whether or not the person who did this was still in the vicinity, correct?
Yes.
Now, evidence tape is placed around the scene, is that correct?
In this scene or just in general?
In general.
Yes, yes it is.
Do you recall if evidence tape was placed on this scene?
I believe we did some on the front. I believe that it was in the front. I don't, just offhand, I don't remember, but if there was placed, it was probably placed in the front.
None in the backyard area where the door was open, correct?
No.
Now, there have been many scientific advancements for law enforcement since I started 40 years ago and you started 30 years ago. So evidence that could be collected, like hair, fingerprints, DNA, blood, door frame chippings, could be tested against modern techniques 21 years later if it wasn't compromised, correct?
Okay, I'm trying to play back what you said in my head to make sure I'm answering you directly.
I appreciate that, and I might not have asked that as well as my law school professor would have wanted to.
Okay, so you said that something about 21 years later, or?
Right. In other words, there have been advances in science, and when you do a crime scene, you preserve what you find, correct?
Correct, correct.
And so years later, in what can be described as a cold case, the things that were collected back then can be tested by the new techniques, correct?
Correct.
And that's done on a regular basis, correct?
From what I could, I'm not involved in it, but just reading the newspaper and watching TV shows, yeah, you see things that, oh yeah, they didn't have technology then, now they have it now.
And you train your rookies to preserve and not contaminate scenes so there's as much physical evidence as possible, especially in a homicide, so that when it comes to court, you have the evidence to prove somebody guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, correct?
Correct.
It's nice to see you again, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Balian, do you have a redirect examination?
Briefly, Your Honor.
You may.
Thank you. When you arrived at the scene and responded, you testified on direct examination. Before you went inside, you guys met and conferred and came up with a plan to go inside. Do you recall that?
Yes, I do.
And what kind of call was it again you were responding to?
I believe it was an open door.
And were you expecting to find a dead body inside?
No, I was not.
Did you even consider that you might find a dead body inside that day when you showed up there?
No, I thought of other things, but not that.
Right. And what were you thinking, based on your experience of responding to open doors, you were likely to find inside?
Well, I thought that when we responded, someone either left the door open or they rushed out the house and left the door open. I was not thinking that it would be a dead body inside.
Okay, so why is it you didn't put on some booties before you went inside?
Well, number one, we don't get them issued, and number two, I didn't think it was going to be a homicide scene, so that thought never occurred to me.
Do you have booties you keep in your car?
No, we do not.
Okay. When you got inside and found the body, do you recall, based on anything you observed, whether you could tell whether this person had just been shot or been shot sometime prior, based on what you saw?
Let me think here. All right, say the question one more time, please.
Did you think that this person had just been shot or had been shot sometime prior when you were?
I would say closer to prior. I don't know how long, but it definitely wasn't like 45 minutes or anything like that. I think it was some time had elapsed.
So you walk into an open door and you find this body on the ground. And what's the first concern you have as a police officer in that house at that moment?
Other victims and possibly the suspect.
Okay, and so where did you search for those other victims and that suspect? What's your immediate focus?
Throughout the house, anywhere where we could find someone either secreted or hiding somewhere, or anywhere where a person may be hiding out in that residence.
Okay, and did you find anyone?
No.
In your experience as a police officer, when an individual commits a violent crime, such as you came upon on that date, if they're not going to hide themselves within the house, do they stick around and wait for the police?
No, they'll commit the crime and take off.
And why is it you didn't go searching up in the local hills and the surrounding neighborhoods in terms of your duties?
Well, my duties were to secure the crime scene and focus on that residence right there where we knew something happened there. I'm not an investigator, so I don't know. All I know is there's a dead body and I have to secure this scene to get more experienced detectives and crime scene people to come and secure that.
Did you expect that whoever just shot this woman, if they were outside and saw the police rolling up, would have just stayed hiding in the bushes out there?
Your Honor, I'm going to object to that.
Overruled.
No, I didn't. I figured the person was, long gone.
Okay. Were you the lead detective on the case, responsible for what would be tested and what wouldn't be tested?
No, sir.
Were you responsible for making any of those decisions?
No.
Okay. Counsel has shown you a photograph. I think it was Defense A3. Yeah, it's up there right now. You see that photograph?
Yes, sir.
And you were saying that you don't know if those are paint chips or wood chips. Is that right?
Correct.
Now, counsel asked you a question as to whether, suggesting that, or asking you whether that could be something from forcing that door open. You remember that question?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so this picture, do you know, is this the exterior door to enter into this residence?
No, it looks like a...
No one's talking. I'm leaving. That's how it's gonna start working. No donos, no talking. I'm leaving. I don't care if you're listening. What do you think this is? I don't need this worry. I don't need to be worrying about this. If y'all aren't gonna be in here communicating and shit, it's time for me to go. That's how this is gonna start working. If it goes minutes without people saying anything and those things being unanswered, it's time to go. This isn't a fucking radio show. I'd like to thank these people, daily participants of the stream. Top 10, number 1, Barn Lounge. Number 2, Spec. Number 3, Kiwi Muzza. Number 4, Mark Bass. Lou Sassal. Magrini. SJ. Futures Past. 6 of 6. And the third, I don't know, dude, it's not counting the donos on that for some reason. Whatever. Come on with it. What's going on? Okay, whatever. If it doesn't want to do it, it doesn't want to do it. I'm good too. I'm good to not care about it if it doesn't want to. Apparently the bots are down. Come on. There it is. Top 10 dough holders. Number 1, Spec, 2.6. Number 2, Chino Pass, 1.9. Number 3, Zero, 1.8. Number 4, Lonnie Ivy. 5, Matt Thompson. Mr. Wild Bill, Drip Collins, Susan Mo Sharky, Ruby Ocean, Wicked Angela. Top 15 hours. Number 1, Spec, 1457. Number 3, Ted Thomas, 996. Lonnie Ivy, Dapper Rizzle, Bubba Cone Cash Mush, Golden Queen 100, Gino Fast. The fuck is taking this thing so long? Okay, that's it. It's good. Stop in there. Okay. Hold on. Good as Wicked Angela, T99, Uncle Wayne, Prince of Barbecue, Mr. Bill 47, Soul Brother J, as hot class. Alright. There they are. No, this is one, but if it is, it'll come up. If it's not, it won't. So, there's a Discord, whatever. Too fucking hot to deal with this shit. It's already, yeah, no. Not the one, homie. Why is it giving out the dough? Who cares anyway, right? Bullshit anyway. Later, guys. Have a good one.